go sideways.
That's very nice. Sideways is fun.
Is that better?
Especially in a car. Yes, it is. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Howdy.
Sideways.
That's very nice. Sideways is fun. Do I have to repeat myself?
Sometimes.
Anyways, good morning. Welcome to the Jonathan and
Man show.
Did you just say Mian?
You know what? Like when I go back over the show, you know how it gives you like it narrates the show? Like it gives you, so when we introduce the show sometimes, it's like the Ween show because it's not picking up the fact that I'm saying g when. So it'll Jonathan and Ween show. Anyway.
Oh, good morning, Penelope and Ivan and Grace and Ashley and Erica and Tammy. Tammy, don't forget, we're on for next week. We're on it. What?
Hello, everybody.
Everybody's not here yet.
Everybody. Well, everybody that's here now and everybody that will be here later and everybody that will be watching after.
Howdy, Jasmine. I'm all excited because I get to see Jasmine and her family again because...
You have to rub it in.
What? We got the Ramada set aside, or reserved.
Oh.
And it has electricity. What?
What do you mean? What do you... Why wouldn't it have electricity? I don't understand. Like it's a building. Yeah, like it's a building. You would be able to turn the lights on? Like I don't understand.
No, all a Ramada is a roof on posts.
Oh,
You're thinking a hotel, aren't you?
I don't know why I'm still laughing.
A Ramada, not the Ramada Inn. A Ramada.
Okay. I didn't know that that's what it was called. I thought it was called a gazebo.
No, a gazebo is a cheap wooden thing that you cover with flowers.
You can get metal kinds.
I'm sorry, did you just say you can get male gazebos? What? I didn't know they were female. Of course they are. Everyone goes inside. Okay, we need to change the subject. What?
Everybody, just stop. That's so bad.
All right. So, beyond the gender-neutral gazebos, we are basically just kicking back today. We're just going to do some catch-up. And yesterday, talking about mustard that's growing in our yard.
Oh, yes. That's a really pretty bush, actually, that you showed me.
It is, but it's so funny because we... it's funny because, like I said, they're treated as a weed, so everybody kills them, poison it, kill it, right? And anyways, this morning I'm watering, and there's actually seed pods on it, bean pods with the little mustard seeds, which we'd never let them. I never knew that because we never let them grow that long.
Hey, if you like, mustard seed's really small, but look at what it can do.
Right.
Like faith as a mustard seed. Well, yes, the mustard seed has a really small seed, but it's not the smallest seed of all seeds. Sort of interesting. I'm just thinking. Anyways, stop talking about coffee right now.
So you guys missed it. I put on when Gwen came on, I was furiously mixing up bread dough with a fork and a big
There's
giant.
lots of grunting. He was off screen, and all I could hear is, "Ugh."
Yep. Yeah. And I had on my black Yeshua shirt, which I don't anymore, you might notice, because somebody got flour all over the front of it. Bowman.
Bowman. So I have some sad news to report.
Not eating beans anymore?
Actually. Grace made last weekend the most amazing chili.
Uh-huh.
How rude. The most amazing chili. And Gwen proceeded to have 2 extremely oversized bowls of her amazing chili. And I suffered really, really, really bad for having it. So, anyways, not because chili's bad, but I think I'm having a reaction to like the beans itself or something like that. Anyway, no, my sad news is that my cup, my famous cup, broke.
You broke it?
Broke it. I grabbed it out of the cupboard and then I moved it like this to put it into the coffee pot, and I didn't even make it to the coffee pot, and it just fell with the handle still in my hand.
So that reminds me of a true story.
You need a moment of silence, I think, I thought. Like, seriously.
Okay.
Anyways.
We'll have a moment of silence because...
Thank you, Bowman.
Hi, Sky. We're going to have a moment of silence for Gwen's gigantic coffee mug because she's probably going to be going through some type of withdrawal headaches.
Nephilim never last anyway.
Yep, that's true. So true story.
Okay, sorry. Yeah,
That this one machine shop I used to work at, there was this guy. He was a good machinist, but he was cocky, right? Kind of arrogant. And anyways, not once, not twice, but 3 times, right? You know those big industrial coffee makers that hold 4 coffee pots, right? So you have the 2 on the bottom, right? And then that's where the coffee drains into those coffee pots. But then you take those and put them on the top to keep them warm, and then you put 2 more coffee pots down there.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, 3 separate occasions he was going. He filled his coffee cup and then went to put the coffee cup or the coffee pot back up on the top, and it comes to like this very sharp, pointy corner. 3 times he smacked the coffee pot on there and exploded the coffee pot and got hot coffee all over everything.
Ouch.
True story.
Yep. Oh.
And I didn't know about the 3rd time. I was talking to a friend of mine that used to work there with me, and I jokingly commented, "Coffee pots tremble in his name." Tremble at his name. And he was like, "I can't believe he did that 3 times." And I said, "You mean twice?" He's all, "No, 3. And apparently after I left, he did it again. So
I want to pray for Heather and Gary.
Okay.
Right now, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. But we just come together as a body and we unify in agreement that you are faithful and that you are good and that you don't bring us through anything that you don't already have a strategy and a plan to show us a way out. So right now, I just want to praise you and thank you and send those praises over Heather and Gary, over their home, over their bodies. Right now, I thank you that your faithfulness and your goodness will prevail over their life. I pray that they would just continue to just yield their will and trust in you, and that greater is he who is in them than he who is in the world. And no weapon forged against them or any one of us will prosper. So we want to stay close to you. We want to abide with you. And we want to cover our brother and our sister right now and encourage them that between Abba and Heather and Gary make the majority against any war that's being waged against them. So I just pray for strength and courage and resilience in Yeshua name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Quinn.
I love you guys, Heather and Gary, and then everybody else. The end. Oh no, did you freeze? Oh, I thought you froze. I was just about to scream at the computer. That would have been horrible.
You did good. You done good, Lassie. So very, very interesting in that have you noticed there's been a lot, I know you don't watch the news, but there's really been a lot of things happening like locally and regionally and nationally and internationally. There's really a lot of events coming to pass that they're worth watching. I mean, everybody that who was it? I can't remember who. Oh, it was that guy, Coach Dave. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
I don't think so. No.
Anyways, Coach Dave is someone somewhat of a mentor and a peer of Tom and Jared of Through the Black.
Okay.
And anyways, this latest video of his that I saw, he was just really railing against the Christian pastors and denominations, because they teach, oh no, we're in the flesh world, but the flesh world is in direct contact with the spiritual world, and those principalities and powers are pulling puppet strings for people around, right?
We were just saying that yesterday at group. Yeah. Like whatever happens in the physical, it's happening in the spiritual first.
Right. That's right. Righty. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay. Howdy, Doc. Anyways, yeah, that. Anyways, we're seeing all these things at a local and local, regional, and national and international levels. It's working, everybody. Keep praying. Stay strong. The war has been won. Now the battle is ours. So keep praying. Keep your faith. Right? That's what we're here for, is to edify one another and strengthen one another.
Yeah. And I think too, like when we're really low, and I attest to this personally too, it's really hard to confess the truth, like out loud with my mouth, and declare the truth over my body and my mind. So, but it's still, it's a really great antidote to help with the process of hard times. Like you're not like, the first boat Yeshua was in, the second boat he wasn't in, but he gave them the tools. He's never going to leave you without tools when you're in a storm. Never. Remember what he's done for you. Regurgitate that verbally. You've done this for me, and you've done this for me, and I remember when you did this for me. And keep speaking that out loud as much as you can when you're in a low place. It's really hard. I know it's really hard. You may only be able to get one or two out, and then declaring who you are. I am a child of the Most High. I have been forgiven. I have been redeemed. Like just saying, because it brings life to the cells of who you are. It collaborates and it collaborates with the truth of the spirit that's in you, so that eventually that darkness, that heaviness will feel less dark, will feel less heavy. So when you're in that low place, most importantly, try the best you can to out loud confess how beautiful you are in the eyes of Abba. Really.
It is.
It's
It
so
is.
important.
And that Margaret says, it's a fellowship.
Yeah, I
Right?
like that.
It's a fellowship, but it's also a fellowship. We're on the same boat. We're
I
all on
love
the same,
that
we're
analogy.
all on the same boat. And it's funny that she mentions that, because recently, I think I had mentioned I'd been dreaming a lot about being on trains, but I've also been dreaming a lot about being on ships.
Oh, okay. We
Yep.
beat boat. I like that. Oh, I love the boat analogy, because that's how I felt when I came to the truth about all of Scripture. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been watching all my life as a Christian, watching that boat sail away, wondering why I wasn't on the boat and didn't know. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that, because even my time in the Navy, I was, I had no control in my position over where the ship was going and where the ship was driving. Right? No control over its destination, and that's the same way with trains. Right? We might get on board the train, but we don't have any control. You can't steer a train off of its tracks. Well, you can. You can derail the train, but you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that. I think, you know what? Okay, just you saying derail, I think that that's what a lot of times, and I really hate giving credit where credit isn't deserved. Like many times it's not the enemy. Many times it's regurgitated habits that we fall back into when we feel apathetic or we feel sorry for ourselves. Then we leave the door open for more lies, more deception to come in. And the enemy doesn't really have to do anything because we're doing a really good job for him. But ultimately, his tactics, his plan is to derail us. It is to do that. It's making a like it. That's the yeah. So anyway, stay strong. Stay inside. Don't stick your hands out the window. Stay focused. Oh, I'm remembering the song that I was listening to this morning when I was doing dishes. I always say to my girls, I always say, it's a quote from the new Karate Kid with Jackie Chan. And he says in the part of the movie when the young boy was saying, like, what am I going to do this, Mr. Han? What am I going to do this, Mr. Han? He's like, you need more focus. He goes, I have great focus. And then he was doing this one exercise with him where he has these big bamboo posts and they're attached to each other like this, and they're practicing. They're going through their motions, right? And they're on a dock. And the dock is quite far out into the water. And he's like, I have great focus, Mr. Han. And then he pushes them right over the edge of the dock. So his balance is completely off. He's still hanging on with his feet. And he's like, your focus needs more focus. And so I say this to my girls all the time. I am listening. I am focused. I'm like, your focus needs more focus. So this morning, I was saying this to myself, like, Gwen, your focus needs more focus. And then I have a song called Undivided Focus by a woman named Heather Clark. And it's a really beautiful, simple, lyrical song about being undividedly focused. And so anyway, that's it. Nothing really important, no major punchline, but
Right.
being focused.
Okay.
I can't believe it just made a joke.
Yes, jokes are fun.
Mine too. Let's hear it. Okay.
Yep. So, Margaret, I was launch and recovery of aircraft onboard aircraft carrier, and it sounds so cool. And training, wow, man, this is so awesome, and it was awesome. But somehow they never quite get across how much oil and grease a 300-foot catapult takes. It takes a lot.
Oh. Okay.
And let alone the hydraulic fluid back in resting gear. I primarily didn't work back there, though. It was primarily catapults on the waist catapults.
Oh, you know what? Just as you said that, like Heather and Gary, is it both of you guys or is it just one of you? Just so that I know. I think like just when you said holding on by your fingernails, I felt like saying, let go. Like let go. And just see how faithful Abba is. I mean, it really depends. Use your discretion with that comeback, but sometimes if we're hanging on too much of with our own strength, it feels like we're weak. But when we realize whose hands we're in, that we won't feel like we're holding on by our fingernails anymore. But I mean, that's way easier said than done because I don't know your situation. So anyways.
Prove it. All right. Anyways. Are you a shellback, Margaret?
Are you a what?
A shellback.
What's that?
A shellback. It's a turtle.
A shell. Oh, I clearly am a shellback.
No, shellback is if you're in the Navy or Merchant Marines and you cross the equator, you become a shellback.
Oh.
But they make this big ceremony, and they usually park the ship there. And if you,
That's awesome.
well, they take everything stops, and the person who's been in the service the longest, which it's usually some old crusty enlisted master chief or senior chief, they dub him King Neptune, and then he runs all the activities on the ship for like the entire day. And they don't do it anymore, but they used to do initiations of humility, kind of like fraternities, humiliation, etc.
When all they have to do is come on show with you and be thorough.
We're our own special shellbacks here. You remember when Saturday Night Live used to have those cartoons, Tippy Turtle?
No.
Good.
I watched like She-Ra, Princess of Power. Those other horrible shows.
Ra the God.
I know this. Oh my gosh, the list really goes on and on with some of the stuff that I watched that I had no idea.
That's right, Margaret. It is. It's totally pagan because King Neptune, but it's that way throughout all the armed forces, right? Symbology of dragons, symbology of tridents, right? King Neptune's trident. All right, Doc, you crossed the equator twice. I hope so. Otherwise, you'd still be down south, wouldn't you? Polar bears. Tammy, they used to call that blue nose a long time ago. I had a teacher in school who was a Franciscan monk that became a blue nose, and he said this one guy on their ship died because they got in like a towel snapping fight or something in the head after getting out of the showers. And one of them slipped and fell against the hull that was below the waterline, and it was all ice and stuff, and he froze to the side of the ship and died. You know how when you lick like the licking the windshield or flagpole.
That's horrible.
I know. I don't see why people live up there. Hey.
Oh.
Very interesting.
Okay.
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 What?
Okay. It's like a little pause. You're not saying you're going okay.
Okay.
That's terrible. What's happening?
The feed's behind a little bit.
Oh,
We're still
okay.
talking about the guy getting frozen to the inside of the ship.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, my girls are thoroughly concerned with frostbite now that I've terrified them with stories when I was young.
Of getting frostbite. And that's why mommy only has 4 toes.
Like we used to get 30-second frostbite warnings, right? And
30 second? Oh, so like if you're exposed 30 seconds, then you'll get frostbite?
yeah. And so most of the time those days we didn't have school, thank goodness, because our driveway was a quarter mile long and my parents never drove us to the end of the driveway in the middle of 30-second frostbite warning cold weather. We had to walk that thing at like 7, 8 years old. Anyway, but I froze the tip of my cheekbones, the skin there. I don't know how many times I froze that. But yeah, awake now.
Is that why your cheeks are all rosy now?
No, but yeah.
No, but yeah.
That's no, but yeah. I was thinking another thought in between there. I was having another conversation within a conversation within a conversation. So yeah, I told the girls about my stories about how important it is because sometimes they'll run outside and I'm like, get your gloves on. No, it's really nice. And then I had to scare them with stories. And then they still didn't believe me. My fingers hurt, my fingers hurt. And then I had to show them stories of really bad frostbite. I'm one of those moms, like, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm going to show you some horrible, horrible pictures. Anyway, yeah. Wasn't the best mommy moment, but they listen now.
Don't do that or you're going to die a horrible death.
You can't go outside and now because now it's turned back on me. Mom, it's too cold outside. We're going to get frostbite. And it's like, it's only -10 or -12 outside. Like, you're not going to get frostbite then, honey. Anyway.
It's only -12. Oh, okay.
Conversation inception. Oh, Tammy. Oh my goodness. I used to have that illness for lots of years.
Right? Yep. When I was young, we used to call exactly, Tammy, we used to call flip-flops thongs.
Oh, that's awkward.
So when I was over at my stepson's house one day, and I said, I don't remember, they were complaining about summer and they wanted a pair of sandals and they were too expensive. And I said, just go buy some go get a cheap set of thongs at wherever, Walmart or whatever. And they were like, that's disgusting. Why would you even say that? I'm like, what? What are they even talking about?
Yeah.
And they're all, why would you even suggest that we wear thongs? And so fortunately that my ex's brother was there and he's older than I am. And I asked him, I was like, Donald, what do you call those cheap $1 pair of summer shoes you put on your feet? He's all flip-flops. And I was all, what else do you call them? He's all thongs. And they were like, no way. You guys used to call those thongs? I was like, yeah. Thongs went on your feet before you used them for other purposes.
Not covering your arse.
I was going to say floss it, but I was going to say floss in your arse.
Shower shoes in the Navy. Oh, you were in the Navy, Tammy?
What was your rating, Tammy? No, no, we had actually a closed type of shoe for a shower shoe. It wasn't closed at the toe, but you slid your foot into it. It's like a slipper, but made of rubber.
What else could we talk about that's extremely important?
You know, just everybody stay firm. Stay strong.
Yeah.
Right? We can make it.
Yeah.
We got this. All right.
Is it almost there?
No, not at all.
Weather guesser.
A slide?
Aviation meteorology and oceanography.
Is that what those are called? Penelope? Slide shoes? Oh, yeah. I remember that now, Tammy. We discussed that before. Yep. She was an aerographer's mate. Aviation meteorology. Dental floss to tie recruits to their bunks. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I wasn't stationed with you.
I was just thinking the same thing. What is mustard and ketchup for? I don't know.
You came in late, Sky. We were talking about how the mustard growing in the yard. We've never, because everybody kills it here. It's a weed, kill it. And that they're finally growing seed pods on them, right? Growing with the mustard seed in them. Oops, I'm typing and there's nobody there.
Hi, Dana.
Hi, Dana.
We were asleep. They didn't wake up? Oh my gosh. I would have woken up and probably poked your eye out or something.
Well, in boot camp, I'm not proud of this, but we used to have night watch, right? Of course, the worst one is what they call balls to four, which is midnight 0000 to 0400 a.m. 04 a.m. 4 a.m. And me and this one guy were on watch one night, and I don't know who started it, but we were taking feathers out of the feather pillows and taking very tiny feathers and putting them right on the lip under the nose of people that were snoring. And they would go, all right, and snort up this feather. And because our experimentation was successful.
That could have been like horribly damaging. Oh my gosh.
We were using bigger and bigger feathers.
You just had to like wipe something gross on their nose, like a chunk of peanut butter or something, then when they wipe their nose or whatever.
You don't have access to peanut butter in boot camp.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, use the grease on your boot or something.
So they would miss muster. Yep. Yeah, Dana, I used to wear thongs everywhere.
Careful, we're going to get horrible visuals. Horrible, horrible visuals. Because most old men have hairy butts.
Did you stare at goats too? We did, no, but here in the Southwest, in the borderlands with large Hispanic populations, flip-flops are called chanclas. And so like in Hispanic culture, you'll hear this thing about las chanclas, and it's serious stuff. It's serious stuff, right? Because when you're in Hispanic families, when your mom tells you to do something or you're being disrespectful, here comes the flip-flop off the foot. And if you're within slapping range, yeah, it becomes an extended slapper.
That's a really good idea.
But if you're not, it becomes a throwing weapon. Right? Becomes a throwing weapon.
True that.
And in fact, I just saw this video where this.
Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy's daughter.
Hi, Jimmy's daughter.
Can't unsee. I know, you can't unsee. Old man, hairy bum, wearing a thong.
What? Hairy toes? I don't know. Leave my bum out of this. Yep. So, anyways, yeah, this like adult daughter says, like, yells at her mom, "I don't have to listen to you," and runs out of the house. And the mom goes out in the street and takes her chancla off and like throws it like 50 feet, and it nails the girl in the back of the head. It was awesome.
It reminds me of that, like that little video that I seen. I don't know if it was last year, and the mom or the son steals the mom's car to go pick up a date. Like he sneaks out with a car. He doesn't like. I mean, he stole it,
Oh, I
but
was just thinking about that. Go ahead.
He snuck out, and he's on the phone talking to his girlfriend or something or whatever. I can't remember exactly. But the sister was the one that's always getting into trouble. But this time she's coming along for the ride because now baby brother took mom's car to drive for wherever. And so mom is driving and she is screaming like she's, I don't know if she's a Latina woman, but it sounds like it. And she's just screaming. And then the daughter is giggling, laughing, videoing it. And mom has a belt and she's yelling at her son to pull over. He pulls over, and I don't know if she's wearing the belt or she has the belt but she grabs the belt, whips it out, gets out of the car in the middle of the highway. She runs to her car, opens the door where the son's in, and just starts whipping him with her belt and pulling him out of the car and just like, you blah, 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 blah. And the daughter is just like videoing the whole thing. Hilarious. Anyway, so then there was some parents saying that she was abusing her son and she was being too hard. And the other people are like, yeah, I wish she would have pulled him out so we could have seen the whipping.
I remember that because the kid went through so much trouble as to shut off the Wi-Fi so the security cameras quit working while mom was at work.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he took her mom's brand new BMW to go show off to his friends. Yep. She's all yelling and stuff, and she's all, "I found him. There he is right now." And when she pulls up next to him, and she's all, "Pull over now!" It was awesome.
It was really funny. Hey, Lino.
Glad you could make it, Lynn. Now that all the trolls are gone. I'm just kidding. We don't have trolls. Jimmy doesn't count.
We don't have trolls, do we? We have excellent people in our group.
I know we do.
It's really good. And you know what? There is like,
oh my goodness.
I don't think we're small. I think small is an underrated verb.
Right.
Is small a verb? No, small's not a verb.
Yeah, it is.
Verb is an action word. Small is not a verb.
Right.
It's an adverb.
It's an adjective. Anyways, yeah, the kid up the street, they were always being watched by their grandmother. And oh my goodness, when they back talked, whatever she had at hand, a spatula, a wooden spoon, a metal spoon, a piece of Hot Wheels track, she was on it. You don't talk back to me.
Ugh. I should call Penelope and Sky. They can help me because I'm just starting to do that type of learning with my girls. Like here, like I'm not kidding. I have to remember. I don't remember all of them, but look, see?
Right.
Verb tenses, and I have like a little list. I'm like, okay, I'm intimidated. Oh no, there's prepositions, and then there's prepositional phrases, and then there's adjectives and adverbs and pronouns, and I can't remember what they all are. So I'm supposed to homeschool my children at home when I can't even remember what an adjective is.
Oh, I remember that, Margaret. We had a plant in our backyard called the Spanish willow. My mom had grown up in the South where they had real willows. And my mom had told me this one time, "Go get me a switch." I had no idea what she was talking about. was like 3 years old. So I went over to the switches on the wall, right? I was like, what do you, yeah, here you go. I don't even remember what I did. I remember that. Yeah. Boy, did that make her mad. So she breaks it down into little kid talk. Says, go out there and pull me a branch off that tree, off that bush, pull the leaves off it and bring it back to me. Okay, so I'm like 3. I go out and come back with a 3-year-old sized branch and pull the leaves off it. Okay, so now she's totally steaming. She goes out there and gets one about 3.5 or 4 feet long, and zips the leaves off of it, and then has me assume the position up against the wall under the light switches I'd been pointing at. And I was wearing shorts or something. I don't know. I was wearing shorts. And I can remember doing child physics in my head. And I was thinking, okay, I've had the belt. That was about this much pain. And I've had the hand. That was about this much pain. And then I remember thinking, this thing is so small.
It's not going to hurt at all.
It's not going to hurt at all. And she goes across my legs, and my hand stayed in the same spot, but my legs were going involuntarily, jumping up and down.
Okay, that's horrible.
And why are you laughing then?
I'm not. That is actually really horrible.
Yep. This other time, right? This is how when I was 4. I don't know why the those full-length mirrors that people put on the inside of a closet door.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it wasn't on the door in our parents' bedroom, and it was leaning against the bed. And I was told to stay away from it, and I did, right? And then they were hurrying to get ready to go somewhere, and I got like pushed out of the way and stumbled on a shoe, and then fell back on it and broke it. So now I disobeyed an order. So my mom got a yardstick, right? So I'm like 4 years old. I've told you this, huh? I got a yardstick. She got a yardstick. So assume the position, bend over, leaning on the bed. And I all tightened up. I remember tightening up my butt really hard. And she brought the yardstick down, and it broke in half. Right? Because my butt was all tight. I don't know if it's because my butt was all tight. And I should have just left it at that. But I turned around while I'm still leaning down, right? I turned around and I go, ha ha. That was a mistake.
Yeah. I'm with Doc. I never got disciplined for the same thing twice. My sister, however, she was a different human being.
Ew, liquid dish soap.
I know. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Lye soap.
Oh my goodness.
What was that? Lifebuoy that they used in the movie?
Dangling participle. You guys are intimidating me. Oh my gosh.
Dangling. Oh, wait till you get to diagramming. And you have to work with clauses and primary clause.
Oh, yeah, I know. Like,
primary subjects.
Oh my gosh. Do we really need to know that? Do we really? I mean.
Yeah, I think we do. It's funny because a lot of the people in Hebrew roots, they like making this boastful claim of how much more descriptive Hebrew is than English. And I understand what they're saying, but when you get into English, when you really break it down and start using it, that there's a lot to it. There really is. There's so much to it.
There's too much. Like what I'm finding is that
too much.
They have rules, but then those rules can be broken. And then those ones that you broke, those ones can be broken. And then there's the exceptions to those rules.
Yeah, but that's in every language, right?
Oh, yeah, right. But isn't it not like we're still adding words to our language because
Right.
it's a mixture of all these other languages. Like English is a mixture of all these languages. Like Latin is, Greek is,
Latin's
there's
dead.
right, but I mean,
Latin's what they call a dead language. But then you got Greek, which is an ancient language, but modern Greek isn't the same as ancient Greek. And
but a lot of our language, like a lot of our words come from a Latin root. A lot of our words do.
yeah, it comes from a lot of Latin and Greek, a lot of German, right?
Yes.
What about when you get when you get a small group of friends together and have a powwow?
You speak
That,
German at a powwow?
that's no, but it's in the English dictionary,
Yeah.
right? And it's not a German word.
Yeah.
What kind of word is it?
No.
You don't. Oh my gosh.
Powwow?
You don't know?
Powwow? Of course, you know what powwow means. Gathering.
Uh-huh. But
I mean,
where does the
that's
word
very,
come
very.
from? It's from Narragansett. It's a what do you call it? Those people that lived here before Europeans came over?
I know where it came from. It means gathering.
Sure, but it's in the English dictionary now. That's my point. There's look at karaoke. That's in the English dictionary now.
Yes, Native American. I call them Indians.
Oh, come on. Give them the whole title.
First Nations, Red People, Indigenous.
Oh, you know exactly what I'm getting at.
Redskin, First Peoples.
Butt flap Indian.
Oh, I love them all.
You're the one that says butt flap.
Whatever they want to call themselves. It depends on what group that you're with. Some people don't want to be called Native American because it has the word American in it. Some people don't want to be called Native. Some people don't want to be called Indian or Indigenous. So either way, whatever, I love them all.
Right. So we got to, at some point this week, we need to put aside some time so we can get with Tammy, and because she's going to read with us on Sabbath this week, on seventh day this week.
I should definitely connect with you, Tommy. I need a resource, someone smart to help me when I get to that, important stuff that involves reading and writing.
You know what? Go to the thrift store. Go to a thrift store and get an unabridged English dictionary.
Yes, I have one. I downloaded one, a really nice one on the girls' iPads. So when I go through their, because I'm a bad speller, I really am. Most times I can pick out words that are spelled wrong, but I don't know how to spell them correctly, but I can tell that they're spelled wrong. But what I do, I know it's just like, I don't have like whatever, right? But I'll correct their free writing, and then they can go to their iPad and they have to look up the word that I've circled that was incorrect and find the correct word to it and make their corrections. That's how I've been doing it so far.
Get some physical books.
I know. They did have a really nice little book, but there was only one, and then they lost it because they were fighting over it, and then they misplaced it. Read the dictionary. Yeah, I know, Jasmine, right? I
Get them something like this, right? Hello, Webster's New Encyclopedic Dictionary.
That's what they have on their iPad. Yeah, that one.
Hold on. Look at. See, the thing is, with the iPad, all they have to do is go click, 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 or swipe, 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 whatever.
Right.
This is hours of entertainment. I know what you're thinking.
Wow. No, I think that's an
Jonathan is like the most boring person ever.
Something happens also with you're going to flip through and you're going to find a word that you're not even looking for and you're going to come across it. So it's going to, yes, I agree. I'm so smart. Oh, you have to say that because you're my friend, Grace.
Dana has 5 children and just turned 55. 14th grandchild. Oh my goodness, what a blessing.
14th on the way.
Yeah. They're already here. As far as
yes. I always used to say, you're married before you're married. You are a parent before you are a parent.
And you're a grandparent before you want to be.
Yes, you do, Grace. You love me. Okay.
Everybody loves Gwen.
It's only because you have to. You love me because you have to. It's a command. And love isn't a feeling.
Happy birthday, Margaret! Belated.
Happy birthday to Margaret. That's it. Sorry. I was going to keep going, but it just sounded really bad in my head. It's a command. Love. What is love? Okay, let me just.
It sounded really bad in my head, too.
Listen, this is what we're going to close with. I've been teaching my girls that love comes after. Love is not a feeling. It really, really isn't. Because when you're married, oh, they must really love each other. I'm like, no, love comes after. They don't know if they love each other until they've gone through something and they've been able to endure pain and sorrow and sadness and hardship. So okay, I'm being a bit like rigid about it. Of course, there's like a different kind of love.
There's an emotion, yeah.
There's a phileo love, there's an agape love, and so on and so on. But the love that we keep talking about, I think that, love is patient and kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It does not keep record of wrong. And then Scripture says, love your enemies.
Right.
What love are they saying? What love could they be trying to, extract? Anyway.
Well, it goes back to that thing I like to talk about with Ravi Zacharias. And he was talking about he's Indian, and his parents are traditional or were traditional. And so they went through this big Hindu process. And anyways, when he was young, a young teenager, his older brother, he had gotten his degree, he had gotten a job, and now it was time for him to get married. So this is back in the 1960s, and they sent notices out to all their associates in India, right? We're seeking a bride for our son. And, Ravi said he was watching this, and he was just incredulous because he had been raised just primarily in America, and he had never really witnessed this. So he was into all these American traditions. And anyways, people sent letters and photographs of their daughters from all over India, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands. And anyways, they wheedle it down, and then they get to this one woman, this one photograph, and that's the one his brother chooses. And so they make all the arrangements and everything, and then they're going to meet in person, right? And this is like a set deal, right? This is the woman. This will be his bride. There's no reverse on this. There's no backing out. And Ravi has been watching this whole process, and finally he can't take it anymore. And he tells his brother, he's all, okay. His brother's like, what do you got? You got something to say? He's like, yeah. Okay, you've gone through all these women, and now you're going to go to India and meet, or actually she was coming to the US. You're going to meet your bride, and she's going to come here, and you're going to meet her at the airport, and the plane's going to open up, and you're going to see her coming down the stairs off of the airliner, and you look at her, and you just say, nope, can't do it, can't marry her. What are you going to do then? And his brother said, you know what I'm going to do? Because I'm going to tell you something very important right now. So get yourself a pen and paper, because you're probably going to write this down for the rest of your life. What? Are you ready? Okay. Write this down. So what happens if she gets off the plane and I look at her and I just say, no, I don't love her? Love is equal part will as it is heart. So, in other words, we have to train ourselves. We have to be disciplined in love, right? The heart part is easy, right? The desire, the want to fulfill that. But the will, that's what takes the discipline. That's what takes 15, 20, 40, 60 years.
Yeah.
That the will, right? Love is equal part heart as it is will, and equal part will as it is heart. And we in the West don't want to acknowledge that. We don't want to follow through on that. But think about it. Love Yahuwah, your God, with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. Right?
Yeah.
Howdy, Yahusha is Messiah.
Good morning.
Okay, let's pray out. Are you ready? Father, thank you very much for this opportunity to fellowship and be with one another, spending this time learning of one another, and keep our eyes and ears open to the victories that are happening in you, in your Son, and that are happening in our immediate surroundings, in our community and our region and our nation and internationally, and give us the eyes to see these events and ears to see these victories, to hear these victories, and learn about them, and remind us, give us the encouragement and strength to pray and continue being strong and to witness of you and all the deeds and goodness you have done in each of our lives, of nothing that we've done, but strictly your grace, calling us to repentance from sin, from the things we did, and expose those deeds in darkness and allow us to be your weapon, your soldiers. Now continue with your healing and protection over Heather and Gary, and also with the woman that disappeared here in our area, your brother Jimmy. Expose everything connected to that, not only locally, but in this region and nationally. Anybody associated working with the enemy for that, whether they be, appearing as an angel of light or not. And we thank you for that. Bless everybody here with us today, now, and bless those in the future that watch this and spend that time with us. We know with you there is no time. It's eternal, and we thank you for that. In Jesus, Yeshua's name, we thank you, Abba. Thank you. We love you for being our Father. Thank you for calling us. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So we have some special things that we've got planned, and just pay attention. We're going to be bringing out some really good stuff. So everybody, love you all. Thank you for joining us, and we will talk to you very soon. Do you got anything else, Gwen?
No.
Okay. So love you all, and we will be back, let's see, in 5 days. So love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.